Hello and welcome back to the Greenhorn Photo Taker. A little out of breath from going up a hill. It is Sunday the 25th, the big northeast snowstorm. And I figure I'd do my traditional walk in my local woodland. And I don't know, have a conversation with you. It is absolutely gorgeous out. It's about 7 or 8 degrees. I'd say 4 inches of snow on the ground, on top of another 4 or 5 that were left over from some previous storms. And the scenery is about as good as it gets. Just stunning right now. I don't really know what we have in store. I only want to be out for maybe 60 to 90 minutes. Nothing crazy. Probably be a rambling episode that should turn off pretty quickly because I'm not making any sense. But that's okay. I'm really out here for me right now. And if you happen to enjoy it too, so be it. Let's talk danger level for just a moment. This is very low risk. This is an area that I can walk to from my front door. I only plan on doing a few miles total, and I can physically not get lost in this woods. There's a lake to one side and main roads to the other. So no matter where I am, even if I get off trail, I will easily find my way out. Additionally, I know this place very, very well. Have been taking local walks here for 20 plus years. So the only thing that could possibly happen is I fall and hurt myself, and then you have the 7-degree temperature to worry about. And the contingency there is I will check in with my wife after an hour. So I feel completely safe being out here in, heavy snow. And the real concern is the sub-zero temperatures. I don't know, I thought it might be fun to reflect upon 2025 as a photography year for me. I don't have access to all my photos, and I'm sure I'll forget something. But it was a great year. I took some photos that I am very, very proud of. And some of the photos were, dedicated photography trips, which also is something I've never really done until this past year. At least never spent a chunk of money on a trip just for photography. So, very excited about what 2026 would bring, to try to keep the momentum going. I've also found myself taking less photos and posting less. Whether that's good or bad, I'm not sure. But it's because I have a better eye for what is going to work and not going to work. And I've really stopped caring. I shouldn't say it that way. I've always secretly wanted to post a photo and see if people liked it. And I've stopped really worrying about that and focused on what I like. I will never really tried to be, but I'll never be a, Instagram influencer or someone that people look to on Flickr as a professional. So why worry about what other people think? And I'll just do it for my own enjoyment. And that's always been 60% of what I did. But 40% was like, hey, it'd be nice to make other people happy and see if I am really good at something. And that's the feedback loop you get on social media. But honestly, that got very boring and very stupid. So now, it's really just for me. A stupid little hobby. And same with the channel. Like, I'm only going to post things that get me excited, as opposed to posting a video on a recurring basis because I feel like I have to feed the YouTube algorithm. A little slippery under here. So let's get back to 2025. There we go. I don't think the GoPro caught it because I was turning it off. But that was my first fall. A little slippery under here. Oh, that sucked. Oh my God. All right, so I will be a little bit more careful as I descend hills now. So let me put the GoPro away. Stop talking. And get down this hill. So I think my growth has been more about self-awareness than any specific skill. I've also, my daughter has graduated high school, and that meant less and less sports photography for me. Although I still got a chance to get out there every once in a while for some family friends. But the point is, much fewer touches on the camera than I've had in years past. So overall, it's really been a slow year in terms of the number of snaps, but a really rewarding year. Of course, the main thing was the trip out to Death Valley and the Sierra Nevadas. I think about that trip all the time. I've rewatched the videos multiple times just to, rekindle that feeling of adventure that is just so rare in today's world. So that's so rewarding as well. Those trips, what I learned, I think the most was, I hate to say it, location. You just can't capture your own imagination if you always stay close to your stomping grounds. I'm going up a hill. I'm gonna turn off the camera for a minute. So, I guess it's a long-winded way of saying, personally for me, the feeling of inspiration with photography is something that I yearn for more than the quality of the photo itself. Like, I can go out into the Delaware Water Gap and have a really fun day, and maybe get a great picture. But I have more fun in being in a place that I've not been to before and trying to discover, the secrets of that place for myself, even if someone else has been there thousands of times over the years. And that's what keeps me interested, I think, more than anything. So it's one of the reasons why I'm out here today, right? To be out here in a snowstorm, in extremely cold weather for a hike. It's not something I get to do all the time. And while I don't have my camera gear, I do have my phone, and we'll take a few shots if I see anything. So overall, that April trip was really, really great. I'd say the next main thing of importance was the road trip with my daughter. And I mean, that was, of course, special on personal levels that don't really have anything to do with photography. But photography-wise, it was interesting because, how do I get up here? No tripod. And that's where I feel I usually do my best work, when I can slow down and use a tripod and really focus in on individual tasks that need to be done. This is a little tricky. Because when I'm handheld, I find I rush myself. Why did I pick this route? All right, let me crawl like a baby for a second here. Here we go. And so that was a challenge for me, but I feel like I ended up embracing it and really doing a good job with what I had. Like obviously Colorado, whew, getting tired. Colorado is stunning. So there was ample opportunity for pictures, but I was still able to slow myself down. And I also really tried to, hold on a second. I'm breathing heavy, that's not good for camera. I also tried to, just for a moment, you know, really not worry about the perfect picture and capture what it felt like to be there for myself and Emily. And again, I think I was successful there. And of course, one of my favorite things to do is capture road trip footage. Those videos never really seem to move anybody but me. But man, this country is so beautiful. And to have a record of some of the crazy roads I've been on, I appreciate that. I don't look back at those videos too often. One of my biggest mistakes, I think, on the Colorado video series, man, I used AI to help me a lot with my narration in terms of, you know, what is the hold on, getting tired. So I used AI a lot to help with the text for the read-through. And man, looking back, it really just, it was a bit hollow and empty, where maybe it was more polished, but if you go to my other videos, they just felt more personal than this Colorado one was, and very rushed. I captured so much more footage, but didn't include it because I didn't have enough words behind the footage to show on the screen, and therefore things just got shrunk down. So I will never do that again. And even if my language is not as good as an AI, I'll stick with my own instincts and my own words in the future. So that was another good lesson learned. I would say the next major segment of the year was the autumn. And in previous years, I've kind of struggled with the combination of hiking in the fall and the focus on photography in the fall. I've never really done a great job of embracing both because I really felt like I always needed my tripod to do my best work. But this year I just went all in on hiking, and if the photography came, it came. And it was probably one of the best autumns. Actually, probably was the best autumn I've ever had from a personal outdoor enjoyment. Several hikes up in Minnewaska, the Catskills, some great scenic drives. And the lesson learned there is really ties back into how we started the video. Doing things for myself and my enjoyment, as opposed to doing things in a way that would make a single photo better so I could post it to social media. I'm a bit turned around. Interesting. It is crazy how in the snow you can lose your way a bit. Let me go this way. This is, see, that's the safest way because I see the followings of a trail, but I don't think it's the trail I intended to follow. But I don't see a trail going up this way. We'll follow the trail, make my wife happy, and try to stay on trail. So, yeah, so the fall was just incredible because I got to be outdoors many days, many miles on trail. And as a byproduct of that, I have some good photos. Nothing great. I mean, they're great memories, but no great, you know, landscape photography photos. And I didn't care because the memory is really what I was after. So that was also a really big lesson learned. Man, this is just incredible out. It really is. And then I think the last lesson learned for me, and this was so obvious, it's kind of crazy I didn't think of it already. I don't know. I think we're off trail. I think I'm following deer tracks now. The lesson learned was there are new things in your own backyard. So I had never been to, yeah, this is off trail. So I had never been to George Childs Park. In the back of my mind, I honestly thought it was more about children and young people as opposed to an area of natural beauty. And God, was I wrong? I mean, that is, for like a 2-mile trail, probably even less, magnificent. And ended up with several videos there, and probably my favorite photo of the year, with the waterfall and the light glow of the sun coming through. So there are undoubtedly places I can get to in New Jersey that would still inspire and excite me. I just have to go to them. In the moment, I tend to only want to spend my time on something that I know will be good. And at Childs Park, in fact, I thought it was going to be bad. Where the hell am I? So I knew it was going to be, I'm all over the place. At Childs Park, I thought it was going to be bad. You know, the pictures that I've seen online on Google Maps, they were fine. They didn't do the place justice. But I took the chance, and it ended up being one of the most beautiful, I know exactly where we are now, one of the most beautiful sections of the Delaware Water Gap I'd ever seen. And I've been going to the Gap for 15 years, is that right? No, a little bit less. So there is always something out there for you to see. You just got to spend a moment and try to find it. Snow's blowing right in my eyes right now. So yeah, I think those are my 4 big lessons on the year. And sorry for rambling through it, but it's good to just talk about it and get some of these thoughts out of your system. I gotta get back on trail. It's been about 15 minutes since we last spoke, and my goal was to cross this entire woodland to one side where they have lake access, and I'm gonna give that up as a bad idea and start to turn back for home, but still be able to see the lake. I'm just starting to get just a little cold, and I'd rather be, what was that? I thought it was an animal. It's just a tree groaning. And I'd just rather be headed back to the house in this slightly colder state than going away from the house. So one more stop. We'll go to the famous Liffey Island and see what the Liffey Bridge has in store for us today. Well, my GoPro will no longer turn on or off. Getting cold. It's a whiteout behind me, so honestly, not great for photography. You can barely see the other side of the lake there. So thanks very much for going on this winter journey with me. And more importantly, thank you for listening to me unburden my photography soul. Hope you have a great winter storm. Be safe. Thanks for watching.